Hey folks, I know I'm just an old guy talking about some mysteries, but please leave a like and subscribe before we start. Let's enjoy today's video. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The name alone evokes images of a majestic, verdant paradise where lush plants seemingly defy gravity, hanging from towering structures, creating an oasis in the heart of one of the oldest cities in history. But the truth about the Hanging Gardens is as mysterious as the gardens themselves. Where were they located? Who built them? How were they constructed? And, perhaps the biggest question of all, did they ever exist? In this video, we're going to dive deep into these questions, sifting through history, archaeology, and legend to uncover the truth behind one of the most enduring mysteries of human civilization. Let's start with some background. Babylon, located near present-day Baghdad in Iraq, was one of the most powerful cities of the ancient world. It was the capital of the Babylonian Empire, flourishing during the reign of King Nebuchadnezzar II, who ruled from 605 to 562 BCE. The city was known for its impressive architecture, fortified walls, and grand palaces. However, the Hanging Gardens are what continue to captivate the imagination of historians, archaeologists, and even the general public. Babylon itself was a marvel of ancient engineering. The Ishtar Gate, adorned with blue-glazed bricks featuring images of animals and deities, stood at the entrance of the city, symbolizing its grandeur. The famed Tower of Babel, though mostly legendary, was also believed to be part of the city's architectural legacy. Yet, even with all these wonders, the Hanging Gardens stand apart, both in their legendary beauty and in their mysterious origins. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon were said to be a breathtaking series of tiered gardens, constructed on an artificial mountain. Imagine, if you will, a multi-level terrace that rose up to an incredible height, with plants and trees cascading down the sides in such a way that it appeared they were hanging in midair. The concept itself was revolutionary, especially when you consider the context of the ancient world. According to ancient texts, these gardens were planted with a variety of trees, flowers, and other plants from all over the known world. The lush greenery was said to have been supported by a sophisticated irrigation system, one that enabled the gardens to thrive in the middle of the dry, arid climate of Babylon. Ancient sources describe the gardens as both a feat of engineering and a stunning display of wealth and power, a symbol of Nebuchadnezzar's greatness. But there's one crucial problem. No definitive evidence exists proving the gardens' existence in Babylon. The debate over whether the Hanging Gardens were real is as old as the story itself. Ancient Greek historians, such as Strabo and Philo of Byzantium, wrote about them, but no Babylonian or Assyrian records have been found to confirm the gardens. What we do have are descriptions from those who heard about the gardens secondhand, but not a single surviving image or physical remains. One of the most intriguing theories posits that the gardens were, in fact, a misinterpretation of something entirely different. Some believe that the gardens may not have been in Babylon at all, but rather in Nineveh, the capital of the Assyrian Empire, under the rule of King Sennacherib. According to this theory, Sennacherib's palace in Nineveh featured an elaborate garden, which may have been confused with the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. The Assyrian gardens were said to be supported by an advanced irrigation system, much like what's described for the Hanging Gardens, which could explain the mix-up. Another theory suggests that the gardens could have been purely mythical, created as a legend by later historians who sought to capture the grandeur of Babylon. Some even suggest that the gardens were simply a poetic metaphor for the splendor of Nebuchadnezzar's reign, with no actual physical structure ever built. But let's not dismiss the possibility that the gardens did exist. After all, Babylon was a city of immense wealth and innovation, and Nebuchadnezzar was known for his ambitious construction projects. Could he have built such a wonder? One of the most enduring legends associated with the Hanging Gardens of Babylon involves Nebuchadnezzar's wife, Queen Amy of Media. According to the story, Nebuchadnezzar constructed the gardens as a gift for his queen, who longed for the lush, green hills of her homeland. Amy, coming from a mountainous region, missed the greenery and the natural beauty of her native land. To ease her homesickness, Nebuchadnezzar decided to build a garden that would remind her of the hills and valleys of Media. This narrative paints a picture of love and devotion, but it also raises more questions. If the gardens were meant to resemble the mountains of Media, why would they have been constructed in Babylon, a city known for its flat, dry landscape? Was this just a romantic tale? Or could it have been a way to explain the existence of such an incredible structure? One of the most fascinating aspects of the Hanging Gardens is the engineering that would have been required to create them. Ancient historians mention an elaborate irrigation system that would have been necessary to keep the gardens alive. How could plants grow in such a dry, arid environment? The most common explanation involves a type of water-lifting device known as a screw pump. The screw pump, attributed to the Greek engineer Archimedes, could have been used to lift water from the Euphrates River to the upper levels of the gardens. The water would then trickle down through a series of channels, feeding the plants below. Another theory suggests that the gardens were watered using a system of chains and buckets, pulled by animals or slaves to bring water up from the river. This would have required immense labor and organization, not to mention a significant amount of water, which could have been a challenge in the heat of Babylon. There's also the question of the structural integrity of the gardens themselves. How could a series of multi-level terraces, filled with earth, trees, and plants, be supported without collapsing under their own weight? Some believe that the gardens were built with a series of arches and stone columns to support the immense weight of the plants and soil. Others suggest that a series of massive, stepped platforms were used to create a solid foundation for the garden. Despite these theories, no one knows for sure how the Hanging Gardens were constructed or if they were ever built at all. One of the most perplexing aspects of the story of the Hanging Gardens is the lack of physical evidence. In a city like Babylon, which was known for its monumental buildings and structures, you would expect to find some trace of the gardens. Yet, after centuries of excavation and research, no definitive trace of the Hanging Gardens has been found. Archaeologists have dug extensively in and around the ruins of Babylon, but no evidence has emerged that points directly to the existence of such a garden. There have been claims of finding remnants of ancient irrigation systems, but none of these have been conclusively linked to the gardens. Some believe that the gardens may have been destroyed long ago, either by natural causes such as earthquakes or by human forces. Over the centuries, Babylon was invaded and conquered multiple times, and much of the city was damaged or destroyed. Could the Hanging Gardens have been lost to time, their remains buried beneath centuries of rubble? Despite the uncertainty surrounding their existence, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon continue to captivate the imagination of people around the world. They represent a time when humanity sought to create something truly extraordinary, something that transcended the limits of nature and technology. Even if the gardens never existed in the form that ancient texts describe, they stand as a symbol of human ambition, creativity, and the desire to leave a lasting legacy. The mystery of the Hanging Gardens of Babylon may never be fully solved, but that doesn't make them any less fascinating. Whether real or mythological, the gardens have left an indelible mark on the history of human civilization, inspiring awe and wonder for generations. And there we have it. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the most mysterious and captivating wonders in the history of mankind. Whether they existed or not, they continue to spark debate and inspire our imaginations. The allure of the unknown is a powerful thing, and the gardens remain one of the most enduring symbols of human ingenuity. Until next time, keep exploring the unknown and come back for another Mystery of Humanity.